New Attack on Titan rerun collab is here. Let's talk about all the new stuff coming in. First off, EREN, new season 4, yeah, season 4, last season. EREN becomes a Titan on his ultimate right here. But if you were wondering, is he a new transformation character? No, he becomes Titan on his ultimate, and it goes back to normal as soon as it's done. So this is EREN. He looks pretty good. I like his outfit. His regular just outfit. And his stats are looking okay. I think they open up his stats here in a second. Yeah, they do. I've already seen what he does, and we're going to take a look at what he does. His stats are pretty good. I mean, once we look at his passive and cards, you're going to also have a better idea of him. I mean, stats these days all look pretty streamlined, I feel like. They all look kind of the same because they have to be. The outfits are okay. I'm going to skip a little bit on the outfits because it should be... Actually, I was going to go back here so you can see the outfits right here. I'll be honest. I mean, this one's cool, but I'm just going to rock regular for the most part. Let's take a look at what he does, actually. And we will assess here if he is good or not. So... This is the EREN passive. Thank you to Kane on the 7DS Leaks Discord. I think it's fine. So, his passive. For every human or giant ally in the battlefield, increases his basic stats by 10%. When the unit attacks an enemy with buff applied, increases damage by 30% per buff. Adds an actual 20% attack related stat boost when the ally attacks an enemy with a dominant attribute. So, this could have been huge, if not for the best unit in the game being the Demon King. He has darkness, and darkness has no dominant attribute. Also, giant race is applied to the unit that can be contributed to passive that relates to giants. At the start of ally's turn, heal 10% of giants' lost HP. Are giants meta now? Unlikely. But unlikely. I mean, he could be good with Melaska Liskadi. Although Melaska's not going to be giving him much, but... Yeah. Holy Relic. When a human ally attacks an enemy with a single target, ignores 30% crit resistance completely. Like, why did they not include giants in here as well? If they're going to like make half-half on his passive, half giant, half human, but whatever. Skill 1, inflict overwhelm damage by 390%, which is double crit damage and... Oh, sorry. Double damage and double crit damage to enemy with debuff. Double damage, huh? Applies debuff to a single enemy and decreases 40% of defense-related stats for 3 turns and does 300% damage. 40% is a lot. I don't know what his level 1 is going to be looking like, but 40% is a lot. The ultimate applies a buff that increases critical chance by 100% and inflicts guaranteed critical damage with fatal effect on all enemies, which is double crit damage. Okay. It's just double crit damage. His ultimate is double crit damage. Okay. Yeah. So, that's EREN. I mean, honestly, we're going to look at his gameplay, and he looks pretty good. He looks pretty... This is how his passive picture looks like. He does look pretty good. I would say... looking at his gameplay, you're going to have a better idea at what the character is. So let's move on to Levi really quickly already. Levi, we've already seen his ultimate and EREN's ultimate. You've seen yesterday's video on the trailer leak, so maybe you've already seen this, but the ending here looks pretty cool with the explosion. And Levi is honestly the one of the two I'm more interested in. I think they're both going to be good, and they're both going to have their own usage rate, but... Okay, Levi, you can see the... this outfit looks sick. You can see the outfits right here. I really like the final outfit. They don't actually put him on the final outfit. They only put the chest piece, which... Look how cool he looks, with the Holy Relic as well. A lot of people are going to be rocking this, but yeah, let's take a look at his skills and everything. I'll actually put the translation on a different monitor because it just looks better if I just have this text right here, right? So let's skip to his passive. So this is a picture of his passive as well. His passive, very long. At the start of battle, apply something called Proof of Defense to himself, which increases his crit defense by 80% and make him immune to debuffs for 2 turns. And for every human ally in the battlefield, increases pierce rate by 30%. So in PvP, you're going to be getting a 90% off rip. It's pretty strong. Before the unit uses skills, removes 1 buff applied to all enemies and applies critical mark for 2 turns. Critical mark means minus 50% crit resistance. For every critical mark applied to the enemies, increases critical damage of the unit by 40%. This, honestly, I don't get why. I think EREN looks pretty mid compared to Levi. Maybe I'm crazy, but look at all Levi's doing, right? I guess the basic stat increase part of EREN, I mean, yeah, basic stat increase part for EREN's pretty nice. But I feel like EREN is more of a unknown killer, right? Like, he has the whole increases damage by 30% per buff applied to the enemy. Like, that's not really gonna be a thing too much against demons. You're gonna have 1 buff from the damage reduction from Demon King, and that's it, right? So it's an unknown thing. And unknown is strong, don't get me wrong, but I feel like Demon King and Sins are the 2 most overwhelming teams right now. So, I don't know. Especially Demon King, obviously. Demon King is the most annoying one. And then his Holy Relic, for every debuff applied to enemies, increases critical chance by 10% up to 10 times. This boy is critting. He is critting. First skill is deals 450 to a single enemy, and then double pierce rate and double crit damage when attacking enemy with critical mark. Let's go back to his stats right here. So he has 227 crit damage, right? And he has not only double crit damage on the attack card, he also is constantly increasing his crit damage with more critical marks on the enemies. And he has an AoE skill. So he's going to be applying the critical mark AoE. I think this character is going to be very strong, like a very crazy damage dealer. His AoE is, in fact, classic. Don't know what you put on the unit? In fact, Pierce. Those are the 2 cards that if they don't know what you put in the character, it's in there. And this guy has both. He has Pierce and Infect. Although one of the cards, right? It's Pierce plus something. They could have made the Infect plus something, but maybe it would be too strong. The ultimate is applies a buff that increases Pierce rate by 100% for 2 turns. And inflicts Pierce damage by 475% of attack. AoE. I mean, I think this guy's gonna be very strong. The thing that I don't like about these 2 characters is that they both have 4 haircuts and 4 weapons. Don't get me wrong, I like collabs, and collab characters are generally very good. I know people hate collab characters because they say they don't last very long, which is true a lot of the time, but not all the time. These characters, let me tell you, I think Levi is really cool. I don't know for how long he's going to be good, because he's mainly a DPS, and DPSs already have a shorter lifespan than support characters, right? Because obviously DPSs are going to get outclassed more easily, and he has 4 weapons, so understand that as you may, right? All right, the banner real quick. They show that Roxy is going to be in the banner, and oh boy, everyone's excited for the Red Galfer appearance. Now, before I go into the gameplay, let's talk about the old characters, right? So, oh, I think my browser is okay. Oh, they ended their stream, so my thing is all bugged. I had to restart the thing. Okay, so the old characters are getting relics. Are they getting buffs? Don't know. Passives wise, they are not. We've got I don't know if it was a leak or something, But we got a picture with the character passives, all of them, before the stream. And the old characters did not have their passives changed, except Mikasa, which had her passive only slightly changed. Let me pull up really quickly here. So this is the image I'm talking about. So you can see, like, this is Eren. It's a little cropped up, but you can see his passive is the same. And then we have Levi's the same. But Mikasa increases all stats by 6% each time she's an ally's attacked, up to 5 times instead of 3 times up to 10 times. Or sorry, 3% up to 10 times. So it's still 30% but faster. It is a minor buff, but not really. So yeah, old Eren is not getting a passive buff at the very least. We're gonna have to wait for patch notes to see if they get at least stat buffs, but I'm not very hopeful. So he gets a Holy Relic that gives him 2 ult gauges start a turn. Or sorry, start a battle. That's it. That's the whole relic. But did not show the... No, they do. Mikasa is a PvE only relic. Yippee! Honestly, it's better than nothing. I was hoping... I mean, she's not even going to get buffed, really, so... She wasn't going to be good in PvP anyways without a buff. If all allies in PvE are humans, basic stats of allies increase by 10% per human, and damage dealt by single target skills increases by 15% for each ally. Honestly, very good as a support character. I think in PvE activities, you could run her with Green Escanor and like be very strong. I don't know why they're recommending Ban in PvE. That's just hilarious. I had some people I was in VC with saying Guild Boss could be good for, you know, points because basic stats. And yeah, I mean, then Ban is good because, you know, extra HP. But yeah, you can't really run her on Hero Arena because Hero Arena is PvP, even though it's not, but it is. PvE passives that work in Hero Arena only work in PvP passives only work in Hero Arena. I wish they would change that because then this Mikasa would actually be pretty good for it. And then last but not least, Levi. If it loads, I believe I remember what his relic is, but I have to retranslate. Yep. His relic is for each ultimate gauge, he gets 20% crit damage. Again, if he does get a buff in stats, it could be good, but with Eren and Levi, right? Why would you run him, or them, if you pull the new Eren and Levi? If you already have the old ones and you're not pulling for the banner, then okay. I would have loved a good buff for them, but like, if you do pull for the new characters, like, why would you ever run them when there's new updated versions of them? Which is why I wish Levi was not a character, it was Armin, but whatever. And Mikasa got done a little dirty. So let's take a look at the gameplays, right? They have 2 gameplays, one for Eren and one for Levi. They pair up Eren against Unknown. Like I just mentioned, like, he is meant to go against Unknown, which is a strong team. They're using Matron in the back for a 25% basic stab off. I don't understand why they're doing this. I guess they really wanted to show that Matron exists and they're not stupid for making her. But Zeldris is just a way better unit in this case right here because you're using Ban, so you're gonna get the debuffs for his passive, right? And it's 24%. Whoa, 1% less basic stats. And on top of that, you're getting the attack related stat lower from Zeldris. So here again, I'm gonna refresh here what the cards do as we watch. They start off with Eren's debuff skill. Let's go in, and that will lower their critical defense, or sorry, their defense related stats. You can see here 20% for 2 turns. Boom. It was okay damage. I mean, he only had 1 buff because the Nashi was not applied yet. And then the attack card, which does double crit damage and double damage to enemies with debuff. That's, I mean, I think the attack card is very strong. And this was an attack on a character that had like only 1 buff. I'm gonna skip a little bit because they don't end up attacking with Eren for like a few turns. Yeah, I mean, considering especially that it was an attack on a tier with no Nanashi buffs whatsoever, that's pretty good because he kind of does want to attack a Nanashi with a character with those buffs. So here they attack with EREN again, and you'll see. So this is a level 1, keep that in mind. 76k is not very good. Not very good. Keep in mind, she didn't have any buffs from Nanashi either. So you really do want to attack people with buffs with this guy. But the only team that's doing all those buffs is unknown. And the one match they showed us was against an unknown team. And they didn't really get any attacks on people with buffs. So I'm not too trusting on this gameplay here. I think that we're going to have to see for ourselves if he's actually good. And then the ultimate didn't even kill her. The 6-6 ultimate didn't even kill her. Yeah, we're gonna have to see for ourselves if he's good. Relying on JP gameplay, JP stream gameplay is not gonna be very good. So Levi is a supposed counter against demons. This is why I think he's gonna be more relevant. Like right now, the meta team is demons. Like unknown is very good, but demons is the meta team, right? And this is the new outfit for Demon King as well. We got the what's that sport with the little pointy swords, whatever. Got that outfit. Alright. So keeping in mind, Levi, his debuff is just Infact, but I mean it's good against Demon King, right? Because Demon King is gonna have Tarmiel Link, so Infact is very good. But he is applying that mark to all of the enemies, which will lower their crew resistance by 50%. That's very huge because, listen, if you've used Escanor, you know that boy misses crits. Like him, you can have 6 stacks of his passive thing, like 30% attack related stats, and he's still missing crits. So lowering their crew resistance by 50% is very strong. And when he does that AoE at the beginning there, he also ends up increasing his crit damage by up to 120%. Oh, and they show this off, so they're like specifically targeting the Levi here. They don't debuff him first before doing the AoE. So if that was a debuffed Levi, he would have died to that single target, but because that's a single target without attacking a debuff, so he didn't do as much damage. He does a single target here with Levi that does okay damage. I mean, this is triple damage reduction stacked Meliodas. And you also got to factor in Kusok, lowering crit damage as well. But yeah, the damage between Levi and Escanor there is significant. You can see. Escanor is still going to be the big daddy damage dealer. But Levi is going to be giving you the crew resistance lower and stuff like that. But, I mean, if you saw from his team, he's not using damage for the most part. He's using Bon over Roxy. I think Roxy for a damage-dealing team, like a max damage-dealing team, would be great. All right, let me rewind here. So, 5 darkness, but no encroachment. Why? He's immune. He's immune for the first 2 turns, and it's a gray immune as well. All right. He does like they do like an attack here to get the ultimate. Again, the attack doesn't do the most damage. Oh, for like 112, that's really not. But Escanor comes in. Escanor does come in. When looking at this gameplay, they do look pretty mid. I'm not gonna lie. Like their damage in the first turn, like Levi looked pretty good in the first turn, killing the Demon King there. And then EREN looked pretty good in the first turn, killing Tyr. And then you saw like they didn't look very good after. Right, they definitely did not. But I don't really trust their gameplay. I've been deceived by this live stream gameplay so many times already. I don't trust him anymore. And then he does mediocre damage on ultimate. I believe that's it for the stream. And they have this little picture here. Alright, So that's the new EREN LEVI. When patch notes come out in like an hour from when I'm recording, maybe we will see a buff happen for... Oh, actually, there's dev notes. Let me actually just briefly talk about dev notes. They posted dev notes alongside the stream. So, main thing, equipment, warehouse, storage is increasing from 200 to 50. And then the chaos game mode, they're gonna make it better, or they, however they feel like is better next time it comes around, because the point system this time was pretty messed up. And then just talking about the collab, so it's not a big dev note. That's why I'm not even making like a separate video for it. So that's about it. Make your own thoughts about the new characters, but keep in mind this gameplay we saw. My gameplay is gonna look way better. I know it, you know it, so wait for that.